Hello and welcome to the MegaMonsterCast. For today, we are talking about episode 18 of Neon Genesis Evangelion. I am Nick. With me are Alex and Josh.
I'm here.
Hello there.
Uh, yeah. This episode is the payoff episode for the last episode. Last episode was all set up. This one is mostly payoff.
Yeah,
Where
and that payoff is Pin Pin.
Yep, Pen's back. He's the new pilot. We were wrong. Toji wasn't in the Ava. It's Pen after all.
God, I would have loved to see Pin Pin as a pilot.
I feel like you can actually chalk up a tiny bit of like mascot characters getting to be pilots of things later on to Pen. Like the missed opportunity of Pen not being a pilot. Someone saw that and was like, but what if we
The
gave
missed
a
opportunity.
yeah.
It was like, imagine him just like sliding on his belly towards angels.
Imagine the Ava that came from their design.
Yes. Misato's gonna be leaving Shinji for a while.
Oh,
And she's going to leave Kaji in charge because Kaji's applying to be stepdad. And this is his trial run on being a dad with them.
I hope he does a good job.
I mean, he can't do any worse than real dad.
Yeah, good point.
Yep. Also, Kensuke shows up and immediately begs to become the pilot of the next Ava.
It's a horrible decision.
You don't
Didn't think
understand.
this
I
was
need
true.
this. This is all I've dreamt about for months. I need this. Please put me in the death machine.
We're here.
Yeah. So Ritsuko and Misato are driving along on their trip, and they're like, "Hey, so when are we gonna get Toji in the Ava, and how's Shinji gonna react to this whole situation?" Answer: not well,
Why are they coddling Shinji so much?
because Shinji has the emotional intelligence of a 6-year-old.
Oh, you're giving the credit of a 6-year-old, huh?
He is able to cry when something bad
Wow.
happens. He handles it poorly.
Cry and run away.
Yep. They're also kind of aware that Shinji's the main character of the show. They're
Jeez,
worried
Doc.
they're worried he's gonna become God, and they're right to worry about that.
Hey,
So
you don't need to worry
yeah.
about that. Jeez, girl.
Toji leaves, and Kensuke realizes something's wrong because Toji didn't eat his lunch, and that means that something is drastically wrong with the universe if Toji hasn't eaten.
I mean, yeah, if I don't eat something, yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
The emotional maturity of all of these children.
Yeah, you're right. There's no argument there.
So yeah, then Ray and Toji talk. Is this the first time Ray and Toji have a full conversation? I want to say it is, right?
This is the first time Ray's had a full, like, actual conversation, more than a sentence.
Doesn't she even initiate it?
Yeah. It's weird that it's with Toji, right?
Yeah.
But again, this sets up the idea
He was
that
he
Toji's
was already kind of a nothing character, and then he goes to a much more nothing character.
Is Toji gonna be
dark.
Shinji's new dad?
Hypothetically, he'd make a better candidate than his actual dad too. He gave him a physical beating, but then he felt bad about it afterwards. I don't feel like Gendo
I
would feel
did it
bad
because
about
I
it.
loved you, son.
I don't think Gendo would feel bad about beating Shinji if he did.
No, Gendo would have gathered much pleasure from it.
Toji also has a flashback to beating up Shinji and still feels kind of bad about it. Yeah. So the class rep and Asuka are having a conversation. It's very clear that Asuka's still super into Shinji but doesn't want to admit it, and the class rep is clearly into Toji but also not ready to admit it.
What if switch places?
What if you guys just talked about your feelings instead of being 14-year-olds?
No.
Yeah, I'm with Alex on this one. That's just too much effort.
Yep. Yeah. So yeah. I kind of like the idea that Asuka has friends, at least, you know? Like, out of the pilots, she should hypothetically, like, her personality is what it is, but, like, she's outwardly outgoing enough, she should have friends.
Yeah, it makes sense
Yeah.
that she has friends because apparently bad attitudes always get attention, especially at that age.
Mhm.
Literally, Ray's the only one who makes sense to have like literally an alien presence among the other kids.
Yep.
She's the bad guy? Duh.
He's done nothing.
Uh, I mean, like, Shinji also kind of makes sense to have friends because his friends make sense for him to, like, Kensuke likes him because he's into, like, the military industrial complex and because he's kind of a weirdo, so they work well together. And Toji feels bad about beating up Shinji and is friends with Kensuke, so he kind of, like, got drawn in because of that. Like, that friendship makes sense to me, too.
Yeah, it definitely makes sense that Shinji bonded with his bullies.
Kensuke was not his bully.
I mean, he was kind of the like I forget the kid's name in fucking A Christmas Story,
Mhm.
the toady.
So I was gonna say he's kind of like
God.
have any of you guys watched? Have either of you
My
watched?
God, he had yellow eyes.
Have you guys watched Boy Meets World?
Yes.
Yeah,
I have not.
he's like
Oh, greatest 90s
what's
show ever.
you remember it was Frankie and the other kid, the something the rat, and Frankie was like the big enforcer and he was the tough guy, like the strong one, and then the other one was like the mouthy one. I feel like Kensuke's the mouthy one. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
you're not wrong.
mm. So yeah, at home, they do the most realistic teenager thing imaginable. They have the TV on, and neither one of them are paying attention to the TV. Like, the TV's on, Shinji's staring at his laptop.
Joey.
Yeah, Joey, that's right. And Asuka's reading a magazine, and none of them are paying attention to the TV. And I kind of love that little detail, where like they can't be bothered to engage with the TV at all, but they also can't be bothered to turn it off because they need that noise. Otherwise, they're just alone together.
Oh, God, that sounds so familiar.
Yep.
I feel very attacked.
Yeah.
I mean, hey, I'm not
Do
gonna
that
say
at
I'm
work.
any better. And then Kaji gets out of the shower, and Asuka plays the damsel in distress again because she constantly has to do that for Kaji because she desperately wants his attention because she desperately wants anyone's attention, and he's an adult man. So anyway, cut to Shinji and
Why can't we
Kaji.
just talk about the way we feel?
Yeah. So anyway,
I
cut to
don't. I can't read minds, man.
yep. So cut to
Your feelings
Shinji
are
and Kaji.
I
complicated.
feel so
That's
attacked
why.
with this whole show.
Yep. So Shinji and Kaji are talking, and Shinji's like, "Hey, you're like always hanging out with my dad, right?" Yep. So like, what's he like? I don't know. He's kind of an asshole. I mean, I learned that he likes his work or whatever. Sure, you know anything about your dad? Because your dad's a fucking asshole.
Damn right he is.
And then Kaji gives Shinji some of the best advice he's ever received, which is, listen, you're never going to understand this man completely. Just accept that and move on. You're never going to understand anyone completely. Just accept that there's always going to be mysteries in people because that's just how people work. People aren't going to let you know everything about them right away. They're probably not going to let you know everything about them no matter how well you get to know them. So just get used to it. Also, your dad's a dickhead.
Also, your dad's a dick.
So then cut to Ava Unit 3 and its first test piloting. What could possibly go wrong here?
We've never seen any of this go wrong before.
Yeah. So synchronization starts to look good. And then it becomes evil because it turns out an angel attached itself to it. And now this Ava is going off and they can't eject the entry plug. How do you guys like the design of this Ava?
I love it.
I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So they actually have the design of the other angel, not the other Ava that was destroyed too. Like there's an actual design for that one too. These two are twins. Yeah, the
Which
other
one is
one,
which one is the twin of it?
the one that was destroyed in the last episode, the one
Ah,
that in Nevada. It's this one's twin, but it has all white
that we just
armor.
don't see.
So they're the exact same design, but this one's all black and the other one's all white. I appreciate that, but at the same point of time, like a little part of me wishes we would have gotten the white one instead of the black one.
Yeah. But God, this episode gives me my favorite shot of all of Ava.
Oh, is it the part where Shinji's begging for his dad to stop as the Ava's tearing the other Ava apart?
No, it's just where he's walking in front of the red sun.
Oh yeah, that's a good
That's a
shot.
pretty
That's a
metal
really
ass
good
It's
shot.
scene.
so fucking good.
There's a lot of
Honestly,
good
both
shots.
both scenes are pretty good. Like this one gives you kind of the whole like, if you didn't already suspect that there was something else going on here, this one slaps you in the face.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, there's a lot of really good shit going on in this episode. Yeah, so they're all preparing to fight an angel, and they're not really going into this. They don't really know what they're supposed to expect, right?
Why not? It's an Ava. Like, you have the most intimate knowledge about Avas out of anything else that you've ever experienced the entirety of this entire show. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but this one has teeth.
Yeah, because
Ava Unit 1 has teeth.
yeah, I was gonna say
Yeah,
yeah,
but
because
they
Shinji's
like to
never done
keep
that.
that one. He likes to keep that one a secret.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good shot. But yeah, again, this is clearly Gendo. Like, well, okay,
I
so
just want to see Gendo suffer.
yeah, that's fair.
Can I have that?
Well,
We
so
don't get that in this season or series, whatever.
mhm. So here's the thing. I think Gendo just fundamentally underestimates his kid's ability to
Be a
rationalize
bitch.
like so Shinji immediately comes to the conclusion of, oh, so there's probably a pilot inside of this thing, right? Whereas if he had told them in advance, hey, the Ava was taken over by an angel, he could have just lied to Shinji and said it took over before we could put the entry plug in, and Shinji would have just gone in and killed it. Like, it would have been shady as fuck, but he's always shady as fuck. Like, I'm surprised Gendo
Honestly,
wouldn't just
I'm
tell him that.
surprised the show didn't do that because
Yeah.
that seems exactly like what Gendo would do to manipulate his son into just getting what Gendo wants. Everything else be damned.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah, but this way, Shinji suffers more
yeah,
because
because,
he knows someone's in there,
mhm.
and he has to do this.
Well, except he doesn't want to, and then he's taken out of the
And he
driver's seat,
chokes.
basically.
Yeah, true.
And he chokes.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
because that's who Shinji is. The second he thinks that he might be going up against a person, he freaks out. He doesn't even know that it's Toji. He just knows that there's probably a person. Also, I love the way this thing flips backwards like it's flying.
Oh, yeah.
It's so unsettling the way it moves to attack the Unit Zero. Also, I love that Gendo's like, yeah, so this thing's being infected. We'll just cut off the arm. But Rei can still feel that cut off the fucking arm. She'll deal with it. It's not like she hasn't had her arm cut off before.
We
This
can
isn't
build
even
a
her
new
first
one.
body.
Yeah,
Arm? No. We can build a new Ray.
yeah. We'll just make a new Rei, and we'll make that one more okay with us cutting off her arms. It's cool.
Soon, we'll make the perfect Ray.
Yep. So yeah, Shinji preps to fight
Horrible.
the angel, which does I love the way this works too, because like it does the jump, like the flip kick that Shinji does too. Like the thing where Shinji like jumps up into the air and flips in to kick someone. It does the exact same move as him, and now he's on the receiving end of it, which I think is a really cool idea of having the angel fight him the way he would fight. I don't know, something about that just
We
screams
really do love
style.
mirror matches, so.
Yeah, I do. I love that quite a bit. I love it when
I
someone
do
uses their own like their techniques against them. Uh, we also get some
Go
cool
to
shit where
black.
the Ava's arms stretch to attack too. How do you like that?
Oh, God, it's so nice.
Yeah,
And the fact that they added the little details of, like, the shadows on Shinji's neck where the fingers would be.
yep, yeah. There's some cool shit in this episode for sure. And Shinji like refusing to try to fight back because he doesn't want to hurt the whoever the pilot is. And then they shut down control and activate the dummy system, which is described as um, it's connecting without having a soul, like not using a soul to connect to the Ava. So the Ava
I
just
always thought it was like putting an AI in there instead of a person.
yes, but also no, because
Which
it's just
which in a way it kind of is, but isn't really.
yeah, because it's
Also,
more
I will
just
say that Gendo's lie wouldn't have worked because there's actually a scene where Shinji actually sees the entry plug.
yeah, no, like again though, I think Shinji would have at least gone into the attack. Like it makes sense from that point on, um, Shinji choking, but I'm surprised Gendo didn't try to convince him, just so he would have taken shots at it before he realized it. Again, though, I just also don't have a high opinion of like Gendo's ability to be truthful to people.
True.
You don't.
Shocking. I wonder what could possibly have led me to believe Gendo likes to lie.
Um,
Yeah, so then they start grappling, and it's so good. Like he breaks the Ava's neck.
breaks his neck, rips his intestines out.
Yeah, just starts tearing it apart. Like literally tearing it apart. Like you see splatters of blood on the buildings around them as it's just
Building dripping off of street lights.
yep.
And so does this only work because the dummy plug is made off of Rei, who is technically also the soul inside of the Ava?
kind of. I don't know do we ever get a dummy plug uh, system working on Unit 2?
I don't think we see
so.
that in this version of the series.
No, I don't think that's ever played with. So I don't actually know if the dummy plug system would work on Unit 2, but it works on 1 for sure, and it would probably work on 0.
So it's like the soul inside this Ava is pretty mad, kind
Well,
of bestial as well.
yeah, it's what happens when you take your wife's soul and shove it inside of a giant robot.
In two
Yeah.
different bastardized forms.
Yeah, you go berserk mode.
Yeah, so then we cut to Misato waking up, and Shinji is just having a full-blown like breakdown inside of the entry plug.
Yeah, because he literally just crushed another entry plug.
Yep.
I sure hope he doesn't see whoever was in it.
Yep.
As his father just looks like,
Yeah.
I did good work today.
Yep. And Shinji sees Toji's mangled body being pulled out, and he just starts screaming.
What's left of Toji's body?
Yeah, that's why I said mangled body.
Yeah. And I love the little scene, like, the class president is just like, wow, I sure hope he's able to eat tomorrow.
Yep. So
he's not.
yeah. So this episode, obviously, of the two that we are talking about in this recording session, is the one that I like more because there's a lot of payoff and there's a lot of cool stuff that happens in this one. Like the setup episode is good when it leads into the payoff episode, but like I feel like this one can stand well enough without the setup episode. The setup episode cannot stand without this one.
Yeah, 100% on that.
Agree.
I liked the introduction of the new Ava to be an angel that again falls in line with the whole the angels realizing that like the Avas are the problem and then realizing that the humans piloting them are the problem.
They're learning.
Yep. Anything you guys want to mention before we call this one?
Yeah, I wonder why Shinji gets a real god complex later on.
Yep.
Has nothing to do with something that might happen in that episode. Just
Fair
saying.
enough. Yep. Alex, you have anything you want to say?
Now this one is almost a precursor to the amount of psychological horror we're about to get.
Oh yeah, no, this is like
And
where
I love it.
this is where things start going really bad for everyone. Like the last episode, episode 16, where Shinji ends up inside of the angel, is the first point where like things start to go really bad for them, and it just slowly devolves into just nightmares for every character.
That's
Anyway,
what happens.
It
when you fuck
already
around.
wasn't good the way it was. It's just getting progressively worse.
yep. Anyway, yeah,
As it would in real life.
accurate. Anyway, tune in next time. Bye bye.